There's my mic. Yeah, everything was fucking muted. I thought I clicked mute on the music thing. Hey, it was a quiet stream. Right. The last thing I was doing was playing music, and I forgot to like unadjust that. There we go. Game volume right about there. Okay. I love how every time I use my mouse on my monitor over there, I expect it to show up in my game. Every time. Firestorm improves blast radius? I don't know. Kind of think I want magnetic capacity back. Kind of playing around with Trumna, seeing what I like on it right now. Because I have a really good build in the first slot, but I'm just trying to try other things with it. Just seeing what happens. Kind of like, I like to see firsthand, like the difference that like Bane mods will make and stuff like that. And right now, I think my Trumna's in a spot where it's like, listen, bro, you're killing stuff or you're killing stuff. And I'm like, okay. Because when I removed magnetic capacity, it's like I was doing extra damage with the Bane mod, but it was like the shields were still a problem, or more of a problem than they were before. So I don't know. It didn't feel very one-for-one tradey.
Sold the conduits with interference routines specifically designed for the Tenno. Things might get a little weird.
Doing my part as the world's bestest mod.
These are carried by high-ranking marketing mucks. Knock them down.
There's just a little bit of stacked up damage, and I'm pretty sure it's just going to be like boink, 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 boink. Post-migration. Yeah.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. A fissure. Defend yourself and use reactive to open relics.
Yeah, I think it's way more useful with magnetic capacity.
The reactive is working on your relic. Find more.
Still think it can get a little bit better. But a problem for another time. I actually, so yesterday, Seer, I played a good amount off stream. It was just me and my kid all day yesterday, so I just like played in between here and there's, and I actually got Revenant pretty well built, and I'll be getting some Archon shards for him today. I say well built, like you need to do much with them. Totally wasn't waiting for a full squad. What the fuck is going on?
Useless without the key. Start turning out pockets.
Rude.
You've collected enough reactants to open your relic.
Hear that beeping? Demo unit's on its way.
Fire rate way too low. This shit driving me crazy. I usually don't put in fire rate mod on it because I use it with Wisp. I use it with somebody that improves the fire rate.
There's a heavy unit approaching.
So, I mean, I'm just kind of seeing what happens with it right now, but normally I'll try to use Trumna with Wisp or somebody that increases fire rate so I don't have to put anything on there for it. I know you can, but I do not care. The amount of fucks I give is like -4 right now. The gun shoots, the gun's fun. But this is also just kind of a good time to figure out whether or not the stuff I'm putting on here is going to be good for it or not. Kind of just testing how it fits into certain spaces, certain parts of my build and whatnot.
Demo unit incoming. Don't let them near
Because I kind of want to set it up for like, I like having, I'm going to need more than one Trumna, I think. So I'm kind of considering, Trumna's really good, right? I mean, obviously. And it's really fun to play with. So I'm kind of trying to figure out to make like a murmur build with it, right? Where I put a, I just got that murmur mod from Homie, so it's definitely like a good time to set one up for like Armistice Disruption and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of just trying to see what happens with it. I don't really care about efficiency at the moment. Took to the new character in the first Descendant, built her day one before build videos came out, and I got #1 on the world leaderboard for soloing a boss, and now YouTubers have copied my build. Fuck yeah, dude. It's gotta feel good to be a trendsetter in something.
Care to live up to your reputation and try again?
Dun 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 dun. Yeah, isn't that kind of, that's kind of how the competition shit goes though, right? Like one guy finds the code and then everybody else uses it, and then somebody else finds a little bit better of a code and then they use it, and then somebody else, like everybody uses that, and then next thing you know, somebody makes it 15% better.
More of the old ultra-violence. Keep your back to the
You were just the first.
Lock it down till she pops.
And you know, like, it's pretty, like, reading things in the game is surely a large portion of how you figured that out. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I like to think about that shit in games. Like, you know, sometimes it's easy to figure out what you should do if you spend enough time with it. So that probably sounded bad. I'm saying it's not just luck that you landed that. Yeah, it's it is what it is. I am the Columbus of that character. Hell yeah, man. Fucking. Listen, if you want to identify with Columbus, that's your deal. I'm joking. It's always so funny to me, like how we were children and they all taught us about Columbus, and they're like, he is awesome. He discovered this place. And I don't know exactly when it happened, but somewhere in like the early 2000s or like 2010 maybe, it kind of stopped like, hey guys, listen, like, yeah, Columbus came here, but we don't talk about it. It's so funny how fast that fucking switched. And like the whole Columbus Day thing, people try to contest that, but that one was largely agreed upon. Like, we probably shouldn't have named a fucking day after that dude.
Still, with great stupidity comes reward. What do you reckon?
I hate copying builds in general. I always make my own. I could be wrong, but it doesn't matter. I made that.
Finish your mission to find out what's inside.
That's how I feel. Guys, keep an eye out for everyone's reactant. That one got close. Ooh. Yeah, disruption is one of those ones where you kind of got to pay a little extra attention to your teammates. Make sure everybody's got what they need. But I mean, on the other hand, like, we're sending these at fucking lightning speed, so it doesn't really matter. Yes, please, I haven't touched a single key yet. I am really torn between what are you doing wrong and what am I doing wrong.
You are surrounded by near marines.
Can't do anything about that last interference routine. You'll just have to wear it. Maybe I can catch the next one.
Because generally, I know most players in this game will wait for you to get your reactant, but the astounding amount of times nobody's given a fuck, it's kind of like having a character dilemma right now. Do I fall in line with the most people who are just like, don't fucking care, and just keep sending it, or I'm like, all right, guys.
Unit coming in fast. That thing bows and you can kiss a conduit goodbye.
That's what.
Secured and we're in the wind.
They killed a bunch of people. Big Whoop, fast food, and Ziggs have killed more people than Columbus. Yeah, but that dude was evil. That dude was evil. That dude lied and misled people and was generally a piece of shit, so. And you're not wrong. But you know, at least the people that are eating fast food and smoking cigarettes have some sort of awareness that they are killing themselves. Instead of believing that these blankets are safe. Aw, you brought me a blanket. Crazy, killed 300,000 people. Listen, brother. I'm going to have to ask you really kindly to not fucking play with that topic too heavy, because we are very native in our family. Like, I get the possible joke sentiment, but my great grandma had her literally lived in Swampsville, Florida, rescuing slaves, and had their last piece of land taken from them and forced to walk to the state we live in now. Like, we are very fucking native. We are literally the fucking natives that were promised gold.
It's like every choice in my life led me to you. Thank you, life.
Meh. I don't know, man. Feels a, it's just the only time in my life I've ever, even serious or not, I think it's the only time in my life I've ever seen anybody big whoop an 80 million people genocide, man. Yeah, I know, I know. That's why I was saying, like, I'm sure you're joking and stuff, but that shit doesn't taste very good. Because the comparison's pretty fucking meh. People are killing themselves in this country.
Stay focused.
Like, it is our choice to eat shitty foods and die. Healthy foods are more than available to you. It's, it is largely a shitty American problem that we are too fucking stupid to handle. Because there are good foods available to everybody. And there are very easy foods available. It is very easy to garden, and it is very easy to take better care of yourself than to just go buy shit from the fucking grocery store, throw it in a microwave, and call it a day. And we are so fucking spoiled. The comparison of us killing ourselves with obesity and shit is just fucking sour. That shit tastes like it rotted for 6 weeks under my fucking couch before I ate it. Yeah, but my point is that it's not like people in America are dying from fast food and the stuff you aforementioned by accident. We're stupid. People in America are fucking ridiculously dumb and spoiled. Like, the majority of people in the world don't have a fucking bite to eat today, and we're over here like, am I going to McDonald's or Wendy's? And then we throw away, 15 fucking nuggets that our kid didn't eat and shit like that all the time. I mean, that is largely just a lazy people problem. All we want to do is hire fucking brown people to do our labor for us and then fucking kick them out and then complain that they're too lazy. That's all fucking Americans have ever done. That's all anybody here's ever done. Is just hire a different race of people, abuse them, make them build shit, and then fucking kick them out. And yeah. Keyword is choice. Yeah. Yeah, and the fucking comparison problem that I have is whenever you compare a choice like that to somebody who didn't have a fucking choice. That is the key word. We have a choice to fucking kill ourselves. Not a single motherfucker who got chickenpox had a fucking choice, did they?
You have broken their ranks and they are on the run.
Smallpox, sorry.
Another successful mission. Find extraction.
So, I mean, it's one thing whenever you're like, corporate America's killed more people anyways. No. Corporate America didn't do it. Americans did it. We're the fucking dummies who don't know better than to eat cheeseburgers every fucking 6 minutes. We're the fucking idiots who aren't strong enough to quit a smoking habit. And then we blame it on the system. Well, I don't know how to fucking grow vegetables, and all I know how to do is go down to the grocery store and buy fucking frozen goods and stuff with 750% my daily value in sodium. And then I go and fucking complain about immigrants on fucking TV later. That's all. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fucking disgusting, sir. I appreciate the possibility of dissecting that, but it's really silly. It's really silly that there is any defense of the idea of comparing what's happening now to what happened then. People can't stop smoking cigarettes and eating cheeseburgers is a pretty big stark difference from people who couldn't live peacefully by themselves. You're 100% right. By the way, what I said was a quote from a certain political party. Not going to mention it here. I'd echoed it as a joke, but it was said seriously. That's what I was quoting. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the timing's bad. Maybe the timing was bad. Maybe it needed quotations. You know what? Huh. Yeah. Exterminate. Exterminate. And I've, in terms of politics, I've come to the very clear conclusion that there is just a loud portion that takes part in it. And that loud portion likes to say a lot of shit that doesn't really matter to the most people. It's really easy to look left, look right, look up, look down, and go, oh, well, this is happening. This is going so fucking bad. Their side's doing this. It's so easy to do that. It's so easy to believe the shit they say. But, you know, like, one person will say, we're going to do this with that, and then we're going to do this. And then you'll see everybody on Facebook going, oh my God, they're going to fucking change the way that we're taxed. Then you take yourself a little 20-second Google search and you figure out that that bill got blocked 2 days ago and is not going to happen. And then you go back to Facebook and you still see people mad about it. That's kind of a problem. Because people don't even pay attention to the fact that bills have passed or not passed. They're just like, the fact that it came up is something that they're going to talk about for 5 days. It's so weird. I can't pay attention to the creamy top of that shit anymore. People will be mad about something that got declined. People will rage bait on the internet about shit that, like, it is like 75%. I'm convinced, man. I'm convinced that we are just eating propaganda for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Because most of what you see, whenever you like, oh, this administration did that administration did this, if you fucking look it up, a lot of the times that shit either got blocked or didn't happen or isn't true. So it's very fucking, dude, it is such a stupid fucking spot to be in right now. I don't care what side you're on. This is a goddamn blended up mess. Yeah, no, I hear you. There's like, okay, so like people will be like, oh, it's not that bad, we're just doing this. Or like, if you could ask a lot of people right now, do you think we're in trouble? And they'll be like, no. But then you realize that there's like travel advisories against the United States. We are on an index scale of risk now. You know how crazy that is? Do you know how the fucking weird reality check that it is that however many years ago, there's no travel advisory. But all of a sudden, within the last few months, countries are like, don't fucking go there. Ambassadors from other countries are leaving. There is a mass exodus of art and talent from other countries. Engineers and stuff like that are just leaving. They're just like, fuck, going home. It's not safe here. They have been asked by their own countries to come home because it's not safe here. How fucking wild is that? Whoever thought we would be in this? And I look at this entire situation, and I think about how it's going to look when it's written down in history books. And whenever we're reading it in a history book, you're not picking whose side you were on in history. It's not going to look good. It's going to fucking be so weird. I'm going to tell you something that cannot be said here regarding that topic. Appreciate it. I'm almost sure, Seer, with, you know, I may even be like potentially hitting a bullseye with what you're just mentioning, but there's almost no way that you work in your field and haven't had at least some of your cohorts say bye. There's no way. Because most, like, this is another thing that most really talented people do not fucking live here. The most talented of the talented engineers and tech people and artists and shit, they're not from here. We don't cultivate that. We don't cultivate talent. We cultivate fat. We cultivate spoiled shit and people that are somehow mad about bathroom problems when we have homeless veterans. I don't understand how we just skip past the homeless vet thing and just go on to everything else. Like, how do we have that problem, not solve it, and then go on to other problems? How does that work? That's why I can't get down with politics, basically. I'm like, listen, man, these people fought for our country and they're sleeping on the sidewalk. Until we figure that out, I don't like anybody. Period. Fucking end of story. I ain't voting for shit that doesn't have a plan to feed hungry kids or get homeless vets off the street. Nope. That was what I was going to tell you. I also left my Fed job due to reasons that I cannot discuss in public.
You open the
Yeah.
relic, finish your mission, and we'll take a look inside.
So that's the kind of that's the news I pay attention to. I got, like I've met a lot of people over my life, and I don't exactly have like the best anecdotal information, right? But when 4 or 5 of your friends all of a sudden are kind of having the same issue of like, hey man, I've been making robotic pieces, and now I'm making robotic pieces alone. I grew up with a dude who, I grew up next door to this guy who was way fucking wealthier than us, dude. His parents were fucking big money. He had a PSP when we were kids, and like that was a big deal. Dude had that was a big deal. Anyways, he went on to, I won't name the company, but I'll say that he went on to be an engineer for a very, very, very big power tool company. And they have had several engineers that work stateside don't work stateside anymore. Because that they are working like extremely hard to improve the efficiency of handheld tools. I mean, just if you go buy a Milwaukee M18 from 15 years ago or 10 years ago, and you go buy one from today, dude, they make Milwaukees that are this fucking big. It's like barely bigger than a phone. I literally had one, and it's a 3/8 impact, and you can take tires off of cars with that fucking thing, dude. And granted, impacts are kind of like that's their thing. They have like a really strong system for doing stuff like that. But you could do mobile tire work with a fucking drill that fits on your hip. So they've got a lot of engineers working on that shit, right? My buddy said that his office has gone from about 16 people to about 4. 4 people. And it has all been and it hasn't, and what's crazy is those people didn't leave because they're like, oh, listen, my time's up here. They're like, hey, my country told me to come home. My country told me I have to come home. The people who support me to be here said that they are flying me home tomorrow. I gotta go. Wild times. Fucking wild times.
Extraction is ready, unless you can handle more of the enemy.
But something that I also kind of studied up on the other day, and this is a very bleak statement. Democracy and kindness is not very common in the human way. The way that we live and the ideal of the way we want to live here, the American dream is not very common. That's what people are like, everybody's obsessed with. They talk about that all the time. The most common way of living is to conquer. The most frequent way of living is to be conquered.
Another opportunity to extract
It is
here soon.
exceedingly more common than this type of system, and it is like scarily natural. And this system is only a couple of 100 years old, and it is already like, yeah. The American dream only makes sense if you're sleeping. Yeah. I mean, do you remember, like a year ago, right? There's been so many gun rights talks, right? So many. And you could basically look anywhere. And the left, this is what really scares me right now, was the left side was like, let's not have guns anymore. And the right side was like, fuck you, guns. That flipped. That flipped. That's bad. It's bad when you've got people on the right saying that we shouldn't have guns. That's not a good thing. Because it's switched now. Because people are like, hey, left people think we need our guns because we're about to have to defend ourselves against a tyrannical government. And the other side's like, hey, you don't need guns because that makes things worse. Doesn't sound very good, man. But also, this is another thing. That's the worry that I'm supposed to be manufactured to feel. The checks and balances are kind of doing their thing right now. If you kind of look up what actions are being taken, it's just waiting on court dates. I think that the checks and balances will handle this situation. Hopefully, man. Because ever since I was a kid, ever since I watched Fight Club, ever since I watched fucking et cetera, ever since I listened to Eminem, I always thought to myself, I will never. Oh man, this might. What's up, kitty?
The low thief shall never know the cool caress of your crowd.
The only war I'll fight in is a revolution. I think that's the best way I can put that. No other way. And even that one I don't want to. Yeah, exactly. And you're definitely not wrong that they are finding ways, but what I'm finding is that every day there are new actions to put halts on the cascading fucking avalanche, and some of them are working. And then what's really scary is that the one check that I think people don't realize kind of exists, because you know there's like the court systems, right? States also have their own like branch of, I can't remember which military it is. I'm not well enough off to know right now, educated wise. And they are, I can't remember. Minneapolis has been in communications with their branch of military that works for them, and so have other states. So a lot of the times, that check is like coming up soon, where you're going to have a state's own military being state in their state, with them saying, hey, listen, you guys can't come here, we're not giving you jurisdiction. And then that's when I think we're gonna see some sparks, man. As long as we don't get to that point where states have to deploy their own defenses, because this is the thing is that the way, even if we feel like they should be somewhere, states have rights, man. States have fucking rights. They have the right to not follow a fucking thing that the others are doing. They don't have to. And if we say don't come here, that's the thing. You can't just like tell a state what to fucking do. And governors are mad. Mayors are mad. And, you know, there's also, there's a ton of fear-mongering going on right now. But as far as I've seen, support for that side has largely gone, listen, guys, this has gone too far. We can't do this. If you've got, like for fuck's sake, politics. What's his name? Ben Shapiro almost never... Like, he's one of those people that's kind of, I would consider possibly radicalized. He almost never even explores the opposition's ideology. He almost always just put something on top of it to make their side more right. It is almost never, ever, ever him going, well, let's make sure. Let's see what the facts are. It's always like a, if they think that, even he had some comments about recent happenings that made me kind of scratch my head, you know? And meanwhile, his entire opinion kind of wasn't the greatest. He did make some mentions that kind of make you wonder, like, hey, they had the opportunity to arrest a gentleman who did thousands of dollars of damage to federal equipment, and they didn't. And that he kind of pointed to, like, what kind of fucking police are running around not arresting that guy? Like, that guy was supposed to get arrested that day and supposed to be in jail for a little while. Like, yeah. Nice. Whew. Well, hello there, kitty. Meow. Meow to you too, cat. I am not engaging into the topic because I'm under a lot of NDAs, LOL, but boy, I have a lot I want to say. I bet. I fucking bet. And you know, like, I'm sure there's a lot of these thoughts that I have, things I've said that are what you would like to say, or things that would align me in the right direction. And I'm not attempting to speak cryptically. I think I just am. I get it. I just don't have the time, the words, or the speech to, like, manage to somehow lace those possibilities in with shit. Like, I know there's a lot of this stuff that there's other options with. A lot of this stuff there's other reasons for. I kind of get some of it. And I keep a decent amount of friends that I don't want to be like working places, but I've got a couple of really good forefronts of information where, okay, like, my sister is largely just full of herself, but she works in IT, and she mostly is just full of herself, but her husband is an E6 in the Navy, and that doesn't mean that he's going to be able to tell me, hey, bro, this is what's happening. But he is able to tell me, hey, man, they are mobilizing us. They are moving us. He didn't tell me that, but he's able to tell me things like that. He's able to tell me when memos have come around with systems warnings and stuff like that. It's not like I have some dude who works in the FBI as one of my friends, but there are really good indicators and warning labels for things, and very good tells from people who actually work in the government or work here or work there. And a lot of stuff gets sideways spread informationally. Like, government employees are kind of like a union. You know what I mean? I know you know what I mean. They don't... They all work for the same company, so they're all kind of invested in each other's well-being. So a lot of information goes a lot of directions very quickly with them. And generally, I think this is gonna sound conceited. I am smart enough to figure out how to look at just about all of this with a 30,000 foot view and spell it out for myself. You know, I've read enough. I've seen enough. It's what up, Phoenix Fire? I worked on the other side, the one that starts with N. So you do know somebody, LOL. Oh. I mean, that's true. I do know somebody. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Wait. If you're a mod, I'm gonna send you $1 today. I'm gonna make an official paycheck for you today and be like, I have an ex-government dude working for me. Messy ass hair, dude. Whee! I met Edward Snowden and I happen to think he is dumb as hell. I kind of, so I have good opinions of Edward, obviously, but I also do understand that he may have not been the brightest of the bunch. He was just potentially the bravest. I mean, I don't really know how to feel about the entire situation, but overall, because I mean, obviously, like, if the history and the story is told, because I remember reading about that a couple of years before I watched the movie and whatnot, and I figured it to be one of those things in which I need to take a I don't know yet stance on, because one side is telling me a story about this guy, right? And then I listen to the story, I get into it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, I'm glad he told us, right? And then I like really got a good scoop of how difficult that was for the dude. Listen, man, do you think that you could sit in front of news reporters knowing what kind of bomb you're about to drop? I hope everyone's day is going good. I have this opinion about work experience and qualification that's a little bit confused. What's the point of it? My opinion, when someone can just learn, but now you need a qualification to learn, that's where I confuse. That's actually, a quick break off squirrel segment, we're gonna call this. A lot of the times, like, I'll tell you this. Qualifications only matter for companies with insurance purposes. And a lot of the times, companies that are really killing it, really crushing it, and really getting it done don't give a fuck about your qualifications. For example, I've worked in a lot of kitchens. I've worked in a bunch of them. And we have hired kids right out of culinary school. And they have the qualification. They're supposed to be here. They know how to cut stuff. They know how to cook stuff. They know all the rules and regulations. They suck. They suck ass. It's almost like, it's like, yeah. You don't always need the qualities. Here's what he did. He sacrificed his life and career for something people don't forget in 2 weeks, and gave them for something to forget in 2 weeks. A reason to improve the system he told on, so his info was irrelevant real fast. The qualifications are for tax purposes and budgets. They don't mean anything. Yeah. That's kind of what I was getting at. It's like they have an insurance policy that says as long as everybody that is hired is qualified to do the job, they'll save like $25,000 this year on their taxes, and then they'll also save money on or their insurance and their taxes, because they'll get shit for that. There's a lot of benefits for having you have qualifications. But I can also tell you, like, very first-handedly with some other shit like plumbing and whatnot, qualifications matter. Experience matters more. And some companies just don't give a fuck about that kind of stuff. Some companies are like, insurance? Dude, I have the basic shit, and they offer me discounts if I go and make you guys pass drug tests. I'm not going to do that. That's where a lot of those work regulations comes from, man. A lot of it's from insurance. Insurance won't, you know, like they'll charge you less money on your premiums if you drug test all your employees, because you're less likely to have a problem. If everybody is qualified to do the job that's doing the job, then you get better insurance rates because they're less likely to hurt themselves or somebody else. They're less likely to need an insurance payout, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
They fought well. Good dance, all.
Because I lack a chunk of my education that's extremely important, and I have never been held back by it because I am a gangster at everything I do. In IT security, college graduates get laughed out the door. Technical certifications are infinitely more respected because they are practical, not theoretical. Yes. And another point I'd like to add to it is getting the certification never hurts you. It only makes you think you're better than you are. Because I've had people ask me in the middle of their culinary career if we'll send them to school or if they should go to school for it. And I will always say yes, because there is something for you to learn there. You could learn some food science that's newer and updated. It is always good. And I love sending people back to school. I like saying, hey man, I think you should go learn how to make pasta. I have a friend over here, and like that kind of shit's actually common. Like I know some recent TV shows have put a weird light on chef stuff, but I know people who cook in fish restaurants, and if I know somebody who wants to learn how to cook fish, I know where to send them. Like that stuff is very, like, that's not just shit that happens on the bear. Like that stuff is real. And I always support furthering your education. Always. It's always a good idea. Drop that key there until I get my reactant.
Beating in with an incoming routine. How's that feel?
Oh, I think somebody activated it. Yeah, somebody did. See if I can get that reactant before it's done. See, this would be one of those times where I could be like, guys, make sure you watch reactant. I joined late. It just happens sometimes, man. It's fine. That's a thing everywhere. That's a lie told so you actually get them, because wait, let me read up a little bit. I live in UK, so it might be different in other countries. All I was told, it's just a qualification to prove that you can do it instead of someone who can't do it, but I'm not that sure. Yeah, Seer is accurate with what he's saying. I almost guarantee it. I haven't even read it yet. That's a lie, so you actually get them, because if you find out the only reason to get them is to save $1 billion corporation money, people won't get it. What he said. Hey, listen, Phoenix, I went to automotive service tech school myself. That was what I chose as my high school vocation. And I actually have a very big love for cars. Please go to school. Please go to school. I know it's kind of stupid. Trust me, I know it's kind of dumb. I know that there's a lot of things you can do to a car without going to school. Please go. It will get you paid. This is one of those instances where you want the education. If you do not go there, you will never know how to service an AC system without potentially blowing yourself up. If you don't go there, you will never, ever learn viscosities of oil, why they're important, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that shit is really important for a deeper understanding of engines and their systems. Cars are very, 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 very extremely complex machines, and they are more so complex now than they have ever been. You really, really want that school, man. That is good school for you, and it is good school for the automotive industry because you're going to save people money and time by having the knowledge. And automotive is a lot like other fields. We don't know everything immediately. We have to look it up just like everybody else does, and there's really good websites for that. However, there are a lot of really important things in school to learn about cars. A lot of it you'll just look at and go, blah, 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 this looks like it needs to be replaced. That is called a grease monkey. And if you want to be a grease monkey, wrench turner who just puts on brakes and just puts on tires and just switches belts, don't go to school. But if you want to have any type of real understanding and be one of those mechanics who's taking home $125,000 a year, go to fucking school. Go do it. Go learn it. Go figure out how AC systems work top to bottom. Learn the electrical of it. Because one thing I can tell you right now, I don't care how good you think you are with cars, you aren't as good as you think you are. Because there are systems that I know you do not understand. And there are systems that nobody understands. Yeah, this is not applicable to every career. This is applicable to most of them. You wouldn't want a doctor who didn't go to school and learn on his own. Exactly. But on the other hand, you might want a doctor who learned on his own to reset your arm. You might want that guy to be the one who like patches your wound. But I'm kidding. I'm joking. No, good doctors are experienced doctors with a lot of education. And they have to actually keep getting education like that. They have regulatory systems that keep them getting education through like year long, every year. It's crazy. All I know is that some opinions matter like that are law regulated in some pointless one like art and stuff. You're not wrong. I think that your anger towards the UK laws that regulate some car shit or whatever you're talking about is a good thing to be mad about. I don't know anything about it, but I support you being mad at something your government did. So there's that. However, when it... a lot of car regulations are actually important. I know that they don't come off as important and they might kind of seem stupid, but a lot of them are really important. There's some regulations that say like there's a line, right? There's a right to repair. Okay? I think you should be allowed to try to fix anything you have. But there is a line where you should not. And some of our laws even dictate that. Like in a lot of HOAs and other places will dictate stuff like this, but there are some laws in some states that say you basically can't do any work to your car in which anything other than the hood is open. So, and stuff like, there's a lot of weird regulations. And that's not because, fuck these guys, I know how to fix my car. They just want me to go spend my tax money. Listen, bro, people hurt themselves a lot with trying to fix their own shit because they aren't smart. Do you know how many people should not be fixing their own shit? Most of them. Most of them, because most of them go to Harbor Freight and buy a $25 jack stand, put their car on it, and then go put a car on top of their face later that day. Okay? That's why those laws exist. Because people are stupid. I don't care how good you are at fixing anything. If you don't know the safe way to do it, you don't deserve to be around it. And that's another big thing about working on cars. There is an extreme amount of safety you need to pay attention to. And there's a lot of things that they'll like safety things they'll teach you in automotive school that is crazy important. I remember, I'll tell you a story, okay? I worked at a tire shop and we had a lot of equipment that was really subpar, okay? And I caused a lot of fits about it. And one of my master mechanics, a very experienced guy, would lift his lift up, right? And the way a lift works is it goes donk, donk, donk. Every one of those donks is it passing over a manual lock that it cannot go back down without you pulling a lever, okay? Hydraulic systems are not to be depended on. The manual lock is to be depended on. Who put that in? Oh, that could have been me. I actually don't know who did it. But oops.
Eyes open, sunshine.
Anyways, so this tech, he was a master mechanic. He had been there longer than anybody else, and he could teach anybody to be a master mechanic. He was so good at it. But even he, one day, goes up to his lift and goes, don't, and leaves it on the hydraulic. He's under the car, just sitting there, turning one of the adjustment bolts for the alignment. Ducks down, grabs some shit off the bottom of his chair, and in that period of time while he was ducking down, that car slammed down to the next lock. So the whole he went up and went boom and landed on the next lock down, which was a good 4 inches. Now, if you know anything about momentum, one of the most dangerous pieces of something to get hit by is something heavy moving a short distance. Like, it is way more dangerous to fall on a bike that's just standing or moving a few miles an hour, like a motorcycle, than it is to fall on one when you end up sliding, right? Like, it's a very, very hard impact. He came flying out of that motherfucker, yelling at the shop, fucking, you guys need to replace this shit and get this shit fucking fixed and blah, 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 blah. I took it upon myself to go have a word with our HR. I said to them, yes, this lift is broken. It should not have failing hydraulics. We also need to have a discussion about safety, because that lift should not fall onto a lock. It's supposed to be set on a lock, not fall on one. It's supposed to be set on one. I work next to this guy. He asks me for help sometimes. And if I had gone under that car to help him, I would have been standing on the side of it, not sitting underneath it. We need to have a very serious discussion about safety practices. So it's the little things like that that you should go to school for. Because those little things are really fucking important. I worked around a guy, and every time I would set a lift under a car, I would get out of the car. I would set one post, the next post, the next post, and the next post. And then I would go back to the first one, and I would double check it. And then I go to the second one, and I would double check it. And then I go to the third one, and I double check it. And the fourth one, and I double check it. And then I would lift the lift until it just started to pick the tires barely up off the ground. I mean, we had this much tire up off the ground. I just wanted to know the entire weight of the car was on the lift. And then I would check every single lift point one more time. And then, after checking every lift point one more time, I did one more thing. I stood on the driver's side tire, and I tried to knock the fucking car off the lift. I would stand there, and I would bounce on that motherfucker as hard as I can. I would try to push that car off. And if it didn't fall off, we were good. And because I went through all those safety checks, I'm the only person in that shop that never dropped a fucking car off a lift. I'm literally the only person that has worked for them that has not dropped a fucking car. We had a guy lift a fucking like 4-ton truck with like a 3-ton fucking welder in the back of it on a lift that supports like 4 tons to the ceiling. He lifted it to the fucking ceiling, and it broke the lift and fell off the back. We had 9 tons land on the floor. The building fucking shook. The sound, dude, you would have been sure the building just exploded. And we're just lucky the tanks in the back of that truck survived and didn't fucking pop. Those guys didn't go to school. Those guys were never taught the intricate safeties of every piece of equipment that they were using. That's why you go to school, for cars. Or that's why you let me apprentice you. Because I have worked on race cars, I have worked on racetracks. I have worked on supercars. I have worked on commuter cars. And I have done it all with the utmost professionalism. I have a toolbox right here, right next to me, still full of all of my tech shit. I'm ready to fucking do anything to any car, anytime, anywhere. I have a kit. I can fucking take it places and go fix brakes on the side of the road. Safely. Sorry, that was a lot. That was a long tangent, and I've missed a ton of comments. Hours, so this is your life. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let me scroll up. Yeah, same with IT. I didn't miss that much. I mean, I get them all the time on my forums. I have to do one for engines. I have to fill this out every day in college, and we have to take notes because of muscle memory and practice and stuff like that goes a lot. I'm just going to save them from building. You're lucky that he didn't think about the weight, and luckily building didn't cave in. Yeah. And you know what's even worse? They didn't automatically fire people for dropping cars. Where is the coolant? I need the coolant. Reactant, not coolant.
Demo unit coming in fast. That thing goes and you can kiss the conduit goodbye.
Got it. Good to go.
The relic has been cracked open. Finish your mission to find out what's inside.
Yeah, cars.
One more round. What'd you say?
Oh, and there's a comment up here from Sia. Yeah, same with IT. You are demanded to keep studying because the IT sec world changes every day, every hour, so this is your life. The technical certs expire, so you got to keep current. Yep, that sounds about right. I've always heard, I think we talked about this before, that IT is a constant uphill battle of a losing war where you're just basically trying your best to make new systems and new ways to keep the bad actors out. I remember that. So I can imagine that the constant education has got to be awesome. Hey, do you, Seer, if you're still here, do you love this little viral piece of the internet that's starting to happen where a couple of hackers are really popular?
Right. There.
And I'm sure that like everybody has ordered a Flipper Zero.
Next verse, same as a first.
And that's what's so funny is like, I remember seeing Flipper Zero come out and then I'm like, oh bro, people are going to think you can just buy that and just go to garage doors and open it. Like you need to be a bad actor to know how to use that shit. You can't just buy it. Okay, you can probably just buy it, Google it, and figure it out within a day. Sure. But this is a good time to say this. If you're buying a Flipper Zero because you want to try it out, you're probably not like really a hacker. If you're buying a Flipper Zero because it's a necessary piece of your kit, okay, I get that. But I think things like Flipper Zero are super cool if you want to learn kind of, I don't want to say like basics or an intro, but if you want to play around a little bit, I think that's a really cool device because, I mean, when I think about its uses for me, like if I have smart lights or if I have like a garage door opener, it would just be really nifty to open my shit with that. So I could see that case use for some people. Yes, I do love it because these guys are going based on hype and not know how to use any of it and get caught immediately. That's that's kind of what I was saying. Like people are probably just like ordering Flipper Zeros and like walking up to cars and Googling how to unlock them. Not realizing that there's like, you know, a whole lot of government focused on crimes that happen from the internet. I can only imagine if you order a Flipper Zero and then anywhere in the same month you visit any kind of website that is possible of upgrading it, or if you order a modular upgrade for it, you're on a list, buddy. You're on a list, like for sure. And I don't know if it's a list that some dude specifically is watching, but you know they have like automated systems for shit like that. Like, if you go buy 2 of any gun, it's an automatic alert to the ATF. It doesn't mean they're coming to talk to you. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that they're gonna come and ask you why you bought 2, all it means is that they know. Pretty sure that people depend on spending way more on material things rather than living, something that I just learned, because all the things you need is living, saving. That's just like food, cleaning, and clothes. But cars, in my opinion, too much of a tax rate of, yeah, cars are fucking, I don't know how it is in the United Kingdom with like the taxes on cars and stuff, but we actually made a pretty good improvement to ours in the last few years. We capped the amount of money that a car can cost on taxes and stuff. And it used to be like, if you bought a car and you turned around and sold it the next day, like you buy a car, you pay the taxes, you pay like $5,000 in taxes or whatever it was. It used to be bad. So, and then if you sold the car the very next day, somebody paid that again. And if they sold the car the very next day, somebody paid that again. So it was kind of a taxation problem that Americans didn't like. We were like, hey, listen, why are 7 people paying taxes on the same amount of money, the same car? Like, this is bullshit. So we kind of figured that out recently. I still don't think it's as good as it could be, but it is definitely better than it was.
Demo unit coming in fast. That thing bows and you can kiss the conduit goodbye.
I can confirm just by going to Tor's website, you do get flagged. See? See? And like, there's like, I don't think people really think about that kind of shit very much. Like, you get flagged for doing basically anything on the internet. And it's not so much like, it doesn't mean that you can't go look at stuff without somebody and have somebody knock on your door. It's like, your people, like, that shit is just like auto logged, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then like, if there's a reason to check if you bought it, they'll know. That's funny. But I mean, I also don't know how people could think that you could possibly order something off of the internet and not be known to have done it, especially when it's something like that. And, you know, it's like, it might sound scary getting flagged, but it's like, it happens to a lot of people. Getting flagged by a government agency is like a regular part of a lot of people's lives. Like, oh, fuck, they're going to have to come check the house again, see if we have this again. Like, that shit happens. And on one hand, people, it's like, I feel a little weird about it. Like, is this really freedom? On the other hand, I'm like, whatever. I can also tell you about the biggest exploit that was never reported was the declaring somebody legally dead without them knowing. That got no media coverage, and it's a massive one. Huh. So is this legally dead without them knowing? So are you talking about like some of the recent like Social Security shit that happened? I actually, you know what? I know that you're not talking about that because that I know you understand that one. So what is it? Is that like a tax thing? Base exploit is legally dead without them knowing. Legally dead without them knowing. Okay. Okay, I see. So I'm guessing that legally dead is something in the forms of like can happen. I don't know. I'll wait for some elaboration. Yeah, I think the way classes are usually broken up is like steering and suspension, heating and electrical, and basics and something else. And then transmission is almost never taught alongside the rest of a car. You have to go to like special schools for transmissions. Say I get a doctor license and a coroner's license from the internet. I can sign your death certificate, no investigation needed because it has been approved by 2 licensed medical practitioners. Where I'm not where's the benefit if you claim that you're legally dead? I mean, I guess you could get like insurance payouts. Huh. I mean, I know there's a lot that you can do with like faking your own death. I'm not totally blind to that fact, but damn. You telling me I can fake my own death and it's not that hard? Weed.
Bulk signal returns. Dig in.
You didn't need those.
You lose your SSN identity bank accounts and you have a period to legally turn that around. If you don't, the decision is final. You can be in person in court and you are dead.
More of the old ultra-violence.
So if you do that, is there like some laws that are like you can't prosecute a... There is a law. I know the name of it. I can't remember the name of it, but there is a law about prosecuting dead people. And I think it's actually, it was something that very, 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 very recently changed. They updated that law so that you, and in fact, can prosecute dead people or update stuff. No, Puck. This is for them to do it to other people. I can legally declare you dead and render your ability to do anything in life useless. Oh. Oh. Oh, fuck. Huh. Karis Starmer did it. I don't take any credits. I'm gonna guess that Karis Starmer is a politician in your country. Do literally anything in life useless. Again, I'm not doubting that, but what is I can see some effects that would have on a person, but what is the benefit for the bad actor here? If you declare me dead, does that mean that you can like activate my will or something like that? Or does that mean that like if I show up to court to testify and on the other side of something or whatever, or if like you're trying to take something away from me, can I like not legally fight for it because I'm not legally alive? It's kind of funny that shit like that can happen if that is what's happening, and the court system's like, yeah, we know this is fucked up, but it's the rules, man. That guy's dead. He can't vote. Vengeance, trolling, self-pleasure, etc. Okay, gotcha. I didn't know if it had like a specific... Because a lot of times crimes like that have a very specific reason people commit them. It's like insurance fraud or something like that. You know what I mean? Like the reason... Like the first thing that came to my head whenever you said you can declare somebody else legally dead or whatever is like... You can send both of those pieces over to your insurance company and get their like $250,000 payout. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it seemed like to me. Yeah, but what happens if I just open a business? I mean, there is some exportation. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not familiar enough with your with UK's business rulings and business practices and laws and shit to really speak on that. The issue is being that if you don't know that it has been done, you won't fight it, so the time passes, your legal window closes, and it becomes irreversible. That's hilarious. That okay, listen. This is the intro to a fucking movie from the early 2000s. Okay? This is an intro to a movie from the early 2000s. The 100%.
One more round.
This sounds like the premise to a 90s movie. Good news is that it was discovered years ago and has now since been improved. That being giant exploits in government, I like to believe that they either handle them quickly or that there is some form of escalation to like a circuit court you can take it to and have the. There's got to be some like. I know you say irreversible, but I'm sure that there's got to be some like you're not exactly reversing the process, you're just updating it. Because I mean, some of that system will change if people notice it. Because the government's not. The reason it will change is because the government won't want people to benefit from it.
Wakey, wakey. Here.
Because I'm sure some people are using that to like evade taxes or get more money somewhere. I'm sure that that's something somewhere for someone. So I could see them being right on top of that shit. Did you say hungry kids? I'm sorry. I thought you guys were getting a little extra money or claiming people for dead, so we're going to fix that real fast. Hungry kids? Sorry. Taxes?
Can't do anything about that last interference routine. You'll just have to wear it. Maybe I can catch the next one.
It became an issue when people were doing the reverse and birthing people that didn't exist, taking out huge life insurance and becoming them dead later on. Wow. That's when they were like, this needs to change. But also,
Routine.
if I'm not, okay, so you can take a loan out against your life insurance policy, right? But it has a direct correlation with the age of your policy, right? So if you've had it for like 2 months, you can't just be like, yo, let me get 200K. But if you've had it for a few years and your amount has grown, you can actually start taking interest-free loans against it, which is something that really baffles me. Okay, I'm not an expert in finances here, but I do know almost every possible facet of making your money work for you, right? How to make like your money be your own friend. And you can literally take life insurance loans out against yourself and you can put them into like growing savings accounts and just pay it later. Like, it's so crazy because dude, you could have an insurance policy for like, I don't know, man, just lace yourself up for life a little bit. Get yourself an insurance policy, put a bunch of money into it. I think life insurance is a scam, but anyways, that's besides the point. Everybody have their reactant? All right. You can put that into money markets or other places. As long as you have enough cash to make it look like you didn't get the cash loaned to you, you can just put it there and then let the amount of money grow and etc. And like another thing, like, Seer, let's say you want to go buy a car in cash, right? Like you got the money. You can do it. You can go buy the car in cash. What you should do is you should go finance the car as normal, put a down payment on it if you want to, and then take that cash and go put it in the money market. Go put it in a bond somewhere. Go buy a T-bond. Go put it in the money market. Go put it in a high-yield savings account. And by the time you pay off that car, you go back to wherever you put that money, and then you have the money to buy a car. And it doesn't always one for one, yes, I know, but would you rather have the car outright for free now or pay off a little interest and get another $20,000 from investing that cash? You know what I mean?
Lock and load.
If you're going to buy a $100,000 car, finance it and then invest the cash you were going to spend on it. Because then you can turn that $100,000 into like 115 in the next year if you just have a decent investment And investments aren't like, it's not always risk, man. Like there's constant growth companies you can buy into. You don't have to fucking just, oh, I'm gonna go gamble on the stock market. No, you can ask somebody. You can pay somebody $250 to figure out where the fucking money should go. And the only thing that's untraceable is cash. I'm pretty sure anything that's like old tech is a little bit more hotter, but that depends on the circumstances. It really could change for security reasons. I live under the impression that there are 0 digital decisions I will make that will not be monitored. That has been, because it's like, no matter how many steps I take to protect myself from being digitally monitored, they're not gonna work. They're not gonna work. Like, if somebody wants to, like, if I'm me, nobody's going to be trying so hard to see me, right? And if I wanted to not be known, if I wanted my digital information to not be available, I would not have made it available in the slightest capacity. But logging on to the internet, bro, you are out there. You might as well put your fucking ID on your forehead and your social security number on your forehead and walk around out in public. It's the exact same fucking thing. If somebody wants to look at it, they will. You can track. I don't know if I am still live or not, but my internet just took a fat dip. So I'm gonna go check for myself. Live. Hello? Smiley face? Oh, that wasn't a smiley. It looks like I'm alive. Hey, look at that. That's the first time I revived myself, dude. That's why I started playing Revenant. Oh. So everybody else extracted. Or, oh, it kicked me out because I disconnected. It looks like my stream went mostly uninterrupted, so sorry if it did. But it looks like I had a little dip in internet there for a moment, which is not totally uncommon with my internet company. We use a small one that's local. But it is a little bit eerie that I was like talking about all that shit, and then my internet's like, hello, would you like to have a conversation about slowing the fuck down for a second? That's funny. Next thing you hear is a knock at my door. Wow. Nice.
That gold is real. I checked.
What's ready? Forma?
Make some.
Ooh. I keep looking at that message down there from Cloudcatcher. It says, who put that in? It's... All right, let's go get some ducats. Let's go see if I can finish up some purchases over here. But I may need to close. Yeah, I'm gonna have to close this and reopen it. So I bet there's new messages that I've just missed. So I can confirm that if we went to find you, we will. And these are not really much, and there's not really much you can do about it. Shit became real when Tor connections were being jacked by federal agencies. Oh, Algorithm brought me here. Hi there. What's up, Junkyard? My chat crashed a second ago. So I'm bringing it back up now. There it is. There it is. Anything new should show up now. Let's see what I missed. Fair, that's understandable, unless you make it hotter. What do you mean by that? Like tracking you down? Oh yeah, I was talking about cache. Like if you, the thing about, the problem with cache tracking is that if it's fair to assume if you track $1 million, right? So you keep track of the serial numbers, you put them in a bank, and then you let them get stolen, right? Of course, there's going to be things where, like, if you go buy a car for $30,000 and then that dealership takes your money and puts the money in their bank, and their bank scans the shit and figures out the tracked money is in their bank, right? Of course, they caught you. But if you go to the grocery store, if you go to a gas station, if you go to these places and make regular purchases, which is very well assumed that you're going to be making regular purchases with this stuff, a lot of that money will end up in random circulation. And the problem is that you can only isolate down to a certain point when people make big mistakes and big purchases. Other than that, trackable money after like a year is basically invisible, unless a large chunk of it gets deposited by some bank somewhere at some point. Warpuck is now live. Make sure I'm not missing those chats. And yeah, to what I was saying earlier, Seer, about, didn't I just buy this? Did I meant to buy, oh, I don't have I gotta ducats first. There is zero belief. I have zero belief that if, like I said, if they wanted to find you, they will. If any branch of the government is interested in having a conversation with you, they can ask one of the other branches that has the information, get your metadata on where the fuck you are right this second, and go have a conversation with you. I have believed that for a very, very long time. I basically pretend there's always a camera around, and it's a little weird. I don't really love the surveillance state feeling of that, and like the constant moderation or monitoring from fucking, the people, but
golden approach is
I've accepted it. Okay, accepted is not the right word. I have learned to work with it because it's there and it's not going anywhere, man.
If you like that, come back next time.
Yeah.
I'll have something extra special for you.
I know these may not be the best, but I want these. I know there's an Incarnate for this that's pretty good, so I want it. And I want the Prismatic Grinlock because I want it. No other reason. Get the MR fodder. All they need to do is ask Google, Meta, etc. They are more than happy to share that data. They always have issue with is Apple. Apple has never played well with agencies. That's I think that's largely we've definitely talked about Apple before. That's largely why I like them. Because I also like I don't know, like, should they just let them have the information? Would that be better for us overall? Or am I giving a little too much of my freedom away when I do that? The whole they're not coming for me thing, like, it kind of, like, they're not right now, but maybe they will. And that's, okay, that might be one of the scariest things about politics is that something might be, okay, ideological politics. This might be one of the scariest things is that something might be wrong to do. Like some of the recent deaths and stuff, like if it was the other way around, their side would not be happy with it and our side would be happy with it. That's not okay. Like certain bad things are okay because they're doing it to us or we're doing it to them. That's what's really scary. The FBI has sued Apple to get access to an iPhone. The FBI lost that battle. The NSA hacked it too. I remember. So, it was like, I don't know, like 2012 or 13 or some shit. And I had like a much older iPhone. And I remember getting on my phone and there was, what do you call it? There was some like Apple alert and it explained in somewhere between layman term and technical term, somewhere right in the middle, what was going on. It was right after the Boston incident, and they were like, Apple kind of put this notification on my phone that was like, listen, man, the government wants access, and we told them no. So we just want you to know we're not going to give your information away, even if we're being subpoenaed by the government. We're going to fight it. And I kind of declared like a loyalty to them at that junction.
The canvas
There have been people trying to make their own devices that be off any OS software, and you can tell from Apple it's have worked very well with, and other companies are coming up. Even Android, sometimes I find correct. It's just a software they want access. Why am I solo? Oh, because this is not what it was a minute ago. It's just Steel Path Incursion. And, you know, I see a lot of... I see a good chunk of naysay. Like, I remember Mark Zuckerberg got on some fucking podcast, and they were like, yeah, Apple won't fucking change their shit so that, you know, Meta can just connect and other devices can just connect. And their, you know, their reasoning is it's not secure. Well, just make it secure. And of course, that there's a lot of stock in it whenever Mark Zuckerberg says just make it secure. But isn't that kind of like, bro, you own like the company selling the most data. Do you what are you thinking? Are you smoking fucking crack? Like, what? He wants the access that Apple gives itself. Can you imagine? And the reason that is because I consider Apple to be like a keep it simple, stupid type of thing. Their products work the best with their own products, and everything else has to have their own like Bluetooth door. Everything else goes through everything else. I think that plays a huge part of why Apple is so goddamn safe. I've talked about this before, dude. My Apple account is the only account I've ever had of any significance that has not been compromised. It's the only one. And now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's uncompromisable. One dude, if he wanted it, could just go get it. You know what I mean? Well, Apple's definitely not falling victim to those, like, Apple customers are not falling victim to those large scale, get a chunk of information out of people type of shit either, because of the aforementioned facts. Android will never have the tech Apple has on their phones. It's a design philosophy. Apple runs 2 OSs in every device. Android is open source, so adding a second layer OS will go against that. It is, yeah, that is like the fundamental difference between the two is one is, in my brain, the way I've always assigned it is one is open source and not safe. The other is closed loop and extremely safe. But you know what both of them do? Both of them call people and both of them text people. And at some point, I agree with what Marcus Brownlee said on the fact. He says he considers phones to be mature. There's not much more growth that can happen there. There's not much more growth. And I'm sure there will be an innovation within the next so many years, but that's like, I mean, phones are exactly what we want them to be. They are like the exact size we want them to be. They are exactly what we want. And of course, you know, there's like cameras get better and better and better, but that's the only thing that they're down to. And cameras aren't exactly getting better and better. They're just putting better and better cameras on the phones. And at this point, you know, when so much of the fucking cost is dedicated to the camera, man, I mean, we own several professional cameras in this house. Several. And listen, iPhone photographers are killing it, bro. But one raw picture from one of my cameras will blow that shit out of the fucking water. So, yeah. I kind of wish that they would fucking dial it back a little bit on the cameras because, I mean, I don't really fucking care about any of that. Now they're getting better and better features. The lenses haven't changed in a very long time. I do, yeah. Like, the cameras are possibly getting better features, and, like, they're really just changing for sake of change. But, I mean, it is crazy to me that we will have, like, my iPhone. I think I have a 16 Pro Max at the moment. That motherfucker has so much battery life that I just don't know what to do with it. But there are a lot of people who be like, my Pro Max dies so fast. This fucking other phone has like 25 hours of fucking uptime. I'm like, bro, do you remember when phones had like 4 hours of use time tops and fucking you'd have to like charge them overnight? on some super duper specific dock charger that didn't work with any other phone at all? Or is it just me? Because the fact that we have any kind of universal language on chargers at all, even the smidgiest widge of universal chargers at all, is a fucking huge upgrade. I think it's part of the struggle of being like a 90s kid, is I still remember the huge pain in the ass it was to plug anything in ever. You had these weird fucking super duper specific docks for most phones and shit like that. And if you wanted headphones for your phone, you'd have to go to Circuit City on 31st and this street specifically to find it. I can't forget where we've come from. I mean, I could never see myself complaining about my phone dying in 2 days. I can use my phone as much as I want for 2 days. That motherfucker doesn't die. I can put it on the charger for an hour and it's fully charged. How much more could I ask for? You know what I mean? Like, even faster charge time, even more battery life. Like, am I really that fucking spoiled that I can only plug my phone in a few days a week? That's another thing I have about the complaint with, what's it called? People will complain about the Apple mouse. They'll be like, it's not ergonomic. I can agree with that one. I can understand that. It's not for everybody. You don't have to use it. However, there is a fucking gigantic market for tiny mouses. There is a huge market for very small mice in the computer tech world. And the whole, like, the charger's on the bottom, it's a stupid location. Yes, it is. But do you know how to put your stuff on the charger at the end of your workday 1 day a week? Like, holy shit, what's wrong with routine? Like, if you're going to be using a device so much that you need it to be charged, are you so fucking lazy that you can't plug it in every Friday afternoon when you leave your office job? Or when you stop working on your computer? Is it really like, and beyond that, dude, plug it in for 5 minutes, go take a shit, come back, it'll work for the next 8 hours. Like, I hate those fucking complaints because there's complaints that are like legitimate. And then there's complaints that are like, how fucking spoiled do you need to be? Do you need your mouse to never die? I've had an Apple mouse for a long time and this bitch dies like every 4 weeks at most. I can't remember the last time I charged this motherfucker, and it's at like 60%. And it's not like I don't give my computer a lot of love. I spend hours on this bitch every day. But people have gotten in tech, they're so fucking like spoiled. That complaint is dumb. You only have to charge that mouse every 2 months. Exactly. That's what I'm fucking saying. And I remember like Linus Tech Tips was going on about, like, he gave the Nothing phone a demerit because they didn't have wireless charging. And like the Nothing CEO responded and he's like, dude, nobody uses that. Like, you need to put yourself in the shoes of a regular fucking consumer. Nobody it is not on demand. Like, people do not fucking care about wireless charging. I don't fucking care about wireless charging. Every single instance of wireless charging has just put my phone in an inconvenient location for me. In your car, it's in a stupid spot. In your house, it's okay. I've got a little dock to my left. I have a wireless charger right here. I can put it on there. And it's one of the better ones. It's a good one, right? It doesn't charge my phone. Like, if I could put my phone on the charger that it came with, or a charger for it, for 5 minutes and get more progress than a wireless charger gives me in 5 minutes. And they're just invalid. It's a stupid fucking feature that nobody wants. Like, it's pretty cool. I get it, but how much extra money am I paying for that tech to be in my phone? At least $100, right? I don't want to pay that $100. Linus is a massive joke. I despise that fool. He doesn't know anything. I think that he is a victim of the, like, I'm so big, I can't be wrong. I set the answer. When I speak, I'd set the tone. Whenever I say something's bad, everybody else decides it's bad. Because it is extremely out of touch to say, this phone, oh no, it doesn't have a mag charger? That's a big down for me. I can't imagine saying that. and having an understanding of what consumers behave like. Because I know a lot of people, bro, and I've been around a lot of people, and every single person I've ever seen charge their phone does it with a cord. Best case defense for a dock charger is or that style of charger is nighttime. Having one of those by your bedside, pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have one, but having one that you can like set your watch on, set your phone on, that's actually a pretty cool use for it. But do you think that is the deciding factor for people? No. Kind of agree. I don't like it. I think it's dangerous. One time my pocket nearly exploded out my thing. It's because of the heat of that wireless charging. Yeah, I think it's just another fail point. It's just more tech that can go wrong, right? Keep it simple, stupid. Anyways, family's waking up, so I'm out this bitch. I'll see you fucks later. Goodbye.